¿Qué está pasando, mi gente? You are now tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. The only station giving you double the information and inspiration. You are listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Celoaffect. Follow me on IG, TikTok, YouTube, and all social media platforms across the board at Celoaffect. Celoaffect. Or email me at theconnectedreloaded@gmail.com for any questions, thoughts, sponsorship, advertisement, interviews. We do everything across the board, you hear me? So definitely tune in and tap in with me. And we would love to give a huge shout out to today's sponsors at Purium Health Products, the one-stop shop for all of your food, superfood, nutritional, mineral needs delivered to your door. If you're needing to cleanse out your gut, if you feel fatigued, fibromyalgia, having IBS, Crohn's, kidney problems, whatever it is, tap into this high quality, super grade superfoods and get it into your life and watch how you improve. Use discount code Celoaffect, heard exclusively here on The Connected Reloaded. Now let's get into today's topic. So today's topic is something that is very near and dear to me. For anyone out there that is fighting, battling, or dealing with any type of chronic illness, kidney issues, diabetes, or any type of serious ailments in their life and their health, then listen, pay attention to this amazing broadcast. For most of my life, for people that don't know, I have been a dialysis patient for more than 22 years. I'm only 35 years old. I just celebrated my 21st, on my birthday on the March 21st. So shout out to me. Happy belated birthday. Aries in the building. And I will tell you first and foremost, my beautiful people, it has not been an easy life by any means. When I was 9 years old, I got sick with strep throat. And my mother, who's the immigrant from Mexico, did everything that she could to help me to improve my health and, doing what she could as a mom. But unfortunately, I didn't get better. It just got worse. So she did what any mother would do. She scheduled a doctor's appointment. And I remember like it was yesterday. We go in there. They do the blood work. They do the urine samples. And the doctor comes in and he says, "I'm sorry, Mr. Penny. I'm sorry, Marcelo, but something's wrong with your kidneys. We're finding blood in your urine and protein leaking." Me as a baby at 9 years old, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't know what was going on. My mom starts crying, and I'm just like, "It's gonna be okay. Don't worry, it's gonna be all right." I just thought that I was a healthy kid growing up. Everything was fine. Nothing was wrong with me. That this is something that they'll figure it out, and I'll be fine. I had no idea what awaited me. So, next few days coming up, they scheduled me for a biopsy. A kidney biopsy. For people that don't know what that is, that's basically they put you through mild anesthesia, and there's like this huge needle with a tube that they put it in the area that they need to get the biopsy or the sample of tissue, which in my case was my kidney. And I was still kind of awake through this, it was just like a weird dream. So then they pull out the sample and they test it. I remember as a kid, 9 years old, I was like, I got out of my first, semi-major procedure, and I was like, oh, that was kind of fun. I like the anesthesia. Let's do it again. I had no idea that I just literally casted a spell on me for years to come by saying that. They come the next day saying, "We're sorry, Mr. Pena. We're sorry, Mrs. Pena," to my parents, "but your son, his kidneys are failing. And he has a very aggressive form of this disease or this illness called FSGS. The medical term is focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. It's basically a fancy term or medical term for saying scarring of the kidneys. So we didn't know what to do. My parents, listened to these doctors. They listened to these experts. And now the decision on the table was we need to put him on hardcore medications, prednisone, pain pills, and just all these other different ingredients to see if we could slow down the progress or the progression of his kidneys failing. We went the Western medical route, not knowing that there was other ways, more holistic, more gentle ways of improving and repairing the body. When we come back, we will continue our discussion on chronic illness and introduction to my story. You are listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Marcelo Antonio Peña, aka Celoaffect. You're tuned into WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go nowhere. Under the vast umbrella that is Celoaffect LLC, we specialize in and have influence from music, consulting, coaching, to health and wellness being our main focus. Truly transform your lifestyle to experience the best version of yourself with our 30-day gut reset program. Visit www.celoaffect.com or ishopperium.com. Use referral code Celoaffect for a $50 discount. Welcome back, my lovely people. You are tuned into WDRB Media, the voice of the community. And to those streaming live through the free TuneIn Radio app and through iHeartRadio, you are listening to The Connected Reloaded. And I am your host, Marcelo Antonio Peña, aka Celoaffect, in full effect. If you were just joining us, we were discussing an introduction to me, my life, and my story, and how I pretty much got to this point. Dealing with FSGS, stage 5 end-stage renal disease. That's kidney issues, kidney problems, severe kidney problems, and also dialysis. So, where we just left off, I had just got diagnosed with FSGS. I went through one of my first major procedures of a biopsy where they took a piece of my kidney to figure out what was exactly going on. And now I was on all these type of medications as a young kid, as a young baby, really, at 9 years old. The crazy thing about this whole situation and this story, I was actually diagnosed on my birthday. On March 21st, 1997, I was around 9 or 10 years old, and I was diagnosed with this life-changing illness. So we listened to everything that the doctors had to say as far as medications, as far as doctor's appointments, and what exactly to do. They threw everything at us with medications, with different ways of trying to really suppress the kidneys or help the kidneys from failing. The only thing that we really didn't try, to be honest with you, was a more holistic approach, fasting or superfoods or juicing. And this is something that I know now after years of obsession and years of educating myself and studying health and wellness and diet and the food system. That's something that we never tried. And it was crazy because I remember when I was in my doctor's office, I said, it was almost like my higher self talking. I said, well, before we try all this stuff, before we go the dialysis route, because that's what they put on the table now, they gave me two options. They were like, now, Marcelo, your kidneys are failing. We're either going to have to put you on dialysis or have a kidney transplant. And I was a little baby at that time, man. I didn't know what that was. All I knew dialysis was scary. I've met grown men that were terrified of dialysis. And I'm over here at 10 years old and you're telling me, you're going to have to put a tube in my chest or a tube in my belly, a catheter. or a fistula in my arm. I would just see people with these bumps on their arms and on their, different parts of their body, and it would terrify me. So I remember saying to the doctor, what if we just drink green juices? What if I just drink green juices for like 2 weeks? I specifically remember saying asparagus juice, just hoping that there was another way that I didn't have to like go down this road, because it was terrifying. Unfortunately, they said no, there's nothing that we could do. So they gave me the option. They're like, okay, do you want to do peritoneal dialysis? That's basically where they put a catheter in your belly, in the abdomen, and then you get clean. They clean your blood through a certain saline and dialysate. It's very technical, but that was one option. Or they gave us the option of doing a kidney transplant. My mother was the first one to jump up and say, yo, take my kidney. He's not going to go through dialysis. My mother was my hero. She gave me life twice, like I always said. So then we embarked on that journey. We got everything ready and prepped for me to go through that procedure of kidney dialysis, of going through the transplant. And everything was set up at Duke University. My mother, I'm O positive and I think she's like R something, but we matched. We basically was a match. So when we did that, they doctors told us all this stuff about just make sure that you take your medication, because, rejection is very possible. It can happen. But as long as you take your medication, as long as you follow doctor's orders, everything should be fine. And we were like, of course, we're not going to play around with this. I'm not trying to live a life that could go down that road of just chronic illness and just dealing with these serious health issues. So we weren't going to play with that. They never once said that a reoccurrence could happen, right? And we'll get to that here in a minute. So, boom. We're at Duke University, the kidney transplant floor, getting prepped and getting ready, to embark on my new life, embark on my new journey of living life, and just putting this to the side and having to be just a distant memory where, it was a bad nightmare, but everything is good now. You go through the surgery, you go through the procedure. I wake up in the ICU room and just, screams. You could just hear screams of people saying, take it out, take it out. People had catheters in their private parts. It was just almost like I was in Vietnam or something. There were just people screaming all over the place in the ICU. And I was just asking to just please help me, because I was in pain too, but I didn't want to panic. It's not easy having your body opened up and cut open and having a transplant, a whole organ put inside of you. It feels heavy. It feels tender. I remember going to my room. I had an IV in my neck, IV in my arms. I had a catheter coming out of my private parts. I was connected to the T, to the brim, on these life support machines. The day that I was able to actually get up after they took the catheter out of my private part, because of all the medication, specifically the prednisone. For people that don't know what prednisone is, it's something that helps the anti-rejection, and it's also classified as an immunosuppressant drug. So your body doesn't do what it's naturally supposed to do, because when it finds an organ or something foreign in it, it wants to attack it. So they put you on all these hardcore immunosuppressant drugs that have negative side effects. They also help people. And one of the side effects of the prednisone was you become very irritable, bloated, to the point where it's like you just want to eat. And then you gain all this weight, fluid, and just weight. In about a 2-week span, I became a completely different person. I remember I got up to go to the bathroom to brush my teeth and wash my face. And I looked in the mirror, and I was almost like I did a double take, a triple take. I was like, who is that? I was a healthy kid. I was a fit kid. I was slim. I wasn't overweight. I was pretty good for the most part. So all this was so new to me. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't know who I was. I didn't recognize myself. So I just go back to my bed. I call to get my pain medicine and I just knock out. After a few days of that, I come home. And after you do such a serious procedure like a kidney transplant, for the next year, you're supposed to go see the doctor every month, at least maybe twice a month. So we did that for a few months. And everything, I was trying to get balance. I was trying to get in a good place in my life. When I went back to school, it was not what I thought it was going to be. It was actually pretty bad. It was a horrible experience because people knew me as Celo, you know what I'm saying? The dude that always played basketball, that, had all these little girlfriends and just always cracking jokes and having fun and, just was someone that was cool, right? But when I came back from this procedure, nobody knew who I was. They didn't even recognize me. I didn't even recognize myself. And kids could be so mean. Especially at 8th grade. All the girls that wanted to date me, now they were just like, ugh, what happened to him? All the homies, all the friends that I thought were my boys, they were like, shh, they just turned their back on me. I was literally alone. And it was a very dark time for me. It was a very dark time because it was like, I felt like Tupac at the time, man. For real, all eyes on me. All eyes on me for the wrong reasons. And I didn't know how to cope with it. I wanted to fight the world because people could be so mean. So after a few months of me being in recovery and missing just weeks of school because I was just not doing good, the prednisone gave me homicidal, suicidal thoughts. It made me angry. It made me irritable. It was just a completely different me. Completely different Marcelo. And I tried hard to just keep focusing and keep, going on the light side or paying attention to the good. But after about 4 or 5 months, they do your blood work. The doctors do your blood samples and your urine. And the doctor comes into my room and says, Marcelo, I'm so sorry to give you this news, but the kidney that your mom gave you is starting to fail. You're starting to leak blood in the urine, protein, and your kidney is failing. After the break, we'll continue the discussion on living life with the chronic illness and an introduction to my story, the Celoaffect story. You are tuned into WDRB Media, the voice of the community, the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. Under the vast umbrella that is Celoaffect LLC, we specialize in and have influence from music, consulting, coaching, to health and wellness being our main focus. Truly transform your lifestyle to experience the best version of yourself with our 30-day gut reset program. Visit www.celoaffect.com or ishopperium.com. Use referral code Celoaffect for a $50 discount. Welcome back, my people. If you're still with me, I appreciate you. It's nothing but love, always. So you are tuned into WDRB Media, the voice of the community. And a big shout out to those streaming live through the free TuneIn Radio app and iHeartRadio. You are listening to The Connected Reloaded, if you don't know. And I am your host, Marcelo Antonio Peña, aka Celoaffect, in full effect. If you were just tuning us now, we were discussing living life with the chronic illness and an introduction to my story with kidney disease and how I got to this point. So now I'm basically fighting for my life, and things are not looking good. At that point in time, it was such a heavy blow because now I'm back at the fork in the road again. And they give me the options once again. Okay, do you want to go another transplant route? Get another kidney transplant? Or would you like to do dialysis? And at this point in time, I was tired of kidney transplant. I was tired of all that. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that again. I'm not doing that no more. So we went the dialysis route, not knowing what awaited me. So the people that don't know, there are two different type of modalities that stand as far as dialysis. You have peritoneal dialysis, which is a little bit more gentle, where they put a catheter in your belly and they fill up your peritoneum wall, which is like a big pocket inside of your, inside of your belly area, where it's filled up with this solution called dialysate. And it basically grabs all the waste and then it wastes it out. It takes it out of the body through a procedure. The procedure is known as dialysis, peritoneal dialysis. The other form of dialysis, which is more serious and something that's not recommended, especially for younger kids or younger adults, is known as hemodialysis. And this is where they use the blood. They can either put a catheter in your chest where it's directly put inside of your heart, or they do a surgery to place what is known as a fistula or a graft. So a fistula is basically a artery and a vein that have been cut and sewn together to create this enlarged vein that is just flowing blood. It's like the jugular vein times 10. And so we went the PD route, the peritoneal dialysis route. And that was not easy by any means. I would literally go to school. I would have to come home, get connected, 6 a.m, disconnect, go to school. And as soon as I came home, I had to reconnect myself to the machine because I would have to sit on that machine for 12 hours straight. So from 6 to 6, I was doing dialysis. And I did that for 3 years. From the time I was 15 to about 17, 14 to 17, something like that. And that wasn't life. I missed school. I missed like 80 to 120 days of school. And life was very, very rough. I experienced so much within those 3 years. And we're not even scratching the surface. After about 3 years of me doing peritoneal dialysis, the unfortunate thing about that situation and that circumstance is you have to be very, very clean and very careful and also sterile when you connect yourself to the machine. So I unfortunately got this infection called peritonitis. And doctors told me, you got to be careful with this because it's very deadly. And if you get it more than 2 or 3 times, it's not good. I'm so lucky I caught it 7 times. But about 4 of those times, it was just because every time I went to go get it cleaned out and have the procedure to get it fixed or resolved, there was a little bacteria that was still stuck inside. The doctors told me that they didn't fully clean out the tube, so it was causing that reoccurrence of peritonitis that is very, very painful. And once that happens enough times, it's almost like having a balloon and you're putting a whole bunch of needle holes inside of the balloon. After a point in time, you're not able to do that treatment. It's not effective anymore, and you're not getting the blood clean. So now I'm at another fork in the road. The peritonitis is destroying my gut, and I'm not able to do peritoneal dialysis anymore. Tune in next week while we do a part 2 to this story. And many stories coming along with my experience with end-stage renal disease and dialysis. Because this is just the beginning. Thank you to anyone and everyone for tuning in. Continue to tune in every Friday at 9:30 a.m. And please remember to connect with me by going to WDRB Media. Click on the radio shows tab and go to the line where it says The Connected Reloaded. You can definitely find my time slot and my page. Also, if you want to be a guest on my show or want free advertisement, you can reach out at Celoaffect on all social media platforms or email me at theconnectedreloaded@gmail.com. You have been listening to The Connected Reloaded, and I am your host, Celoaffect. We are in full effect. On WDRB Media, the voice of the community, for double the information and inspiration. Until next week, my friends, continue to be blessed and much love.
Everybody think they know when only they are lost to the door. Oh no, oh no, when you know, tap into your soul, never letting go. Overstand that you the God. Really take control of your life. One life, one mind, one time. Feel alright, 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 feel alright. Everybody think they know when only they are lost to the door. Oh no. Everybody think they know when only they are lost to the door. Oh no. I'm showing you how to move. Look into my eyes and see the truth. No more dog food, ain't got that sweet tooth. No suicide, thoughts like a loop.